Holy freaking moly. John Wick number 4. My god. Alright, I saw John Wick 4 last weekend, and I'm recording now. I had to go to work right afterwards, so didn't have time to record a video. Man, I am not a huge fan of the John Wick franchise, to be honest. I like number 1, it's alright. Maybe on a rewatch, I wonder if I'd think the same, but the first one seemed to be pretty good. Second one, third one, fourth one tries to be better. I would say that it is the second best. I guess I'd say like best as if that means much, but it tries to be better than the last two, sort of as far as character goes. Like they had the character, Kane was pretty good in this. Good addition, blind assassin that has some history with John Wick, and the way that he was able to fight with his style was unique and interesting. That was a little different, so I liked that. Other than him, though, there is pretty much very much lacking of characters in the movie. So, okay, John Wick in general has a difficult time actually fleshing out characters or getting people to care about characters, I would say. John Wick in the last couple of movies is just killing people all the time. In the first film, like we start at the point where his wife has just recently passed and she left him this dog. This dog ends up getting killed by these guys and he goes on a rampage killing them. That's enough. That's logical enough. A bunch of reasons why he's going to get into this mess here and ends up doing all this. That was fine. Second film, I don't remember what was the initiating cause of people trying to kill him. Just he's back in the game and people want to kill him again. I don't remember specifically, but it doesn't seem to matter because at the end of that one, he kills one of the other people on the continental ground and is excommunicated and just hunted the whole film as well. And it's just like, okay, so he's just killing people the whole time. That was pretty much the idea. And there's not much behind it. There's not much character development throughout this. There's not much learning about him. That same kind of thing happens in this one. You assume he's trying to take down the table, or is he still just trying to be free? I don't know. Like it seems like at this point, there's no point in being free because the organization that they work with, this assassination organization, the table, whatever, like it just seems to run the world. Like it's under the impression that they run the world government at that point. There isn't a world government, but you assume they run the world because they're going to different countries and having the same rules apply in the shadows. It's just like, are they the Illuminati essentially? Are they secretly behind the US government and other things? Because also there's a huge lacking of cops that arrive. There's often just random street people that end up listening to radio stations and can fight people. I mean, I can see there being an element of this that is interesting and like how people blend into the modern world, but by no means does it give the impression that it's like a shadow organization. It seems like it's a legitimate, this is what runs everything. It's a little ridiculous when you get into it like that, and they don't do a good job fleshing that stuff out either. They just keep on adding elements to it or making statements in these movies that are like, oh, there's no way you can come back now, and then later, oh well, if you do this, that, or this, then you can come back now. And it's like, okay. So his goal was he was angry about, his wife was dead, left the one puppy that was left by the wife. He was angry and killed. Beyond that, I have no fucking idea what his motivation is, why he does anything. Does him living matter? Does he even care about himself? What is his goal? Is he trying to help other people? Are there too many innocent people that get killed? I was trying to get behind this guy, and he's like the best of the best of the best, and it's harder for me to give a fuck about him as for John Wick. I don't care about him. He's just the guy that we're following that is able to kill everyone. That's essentially what he is, which is cool, I guess. People like to see that. A lot of the action scenes are fun to watch and have like good sound effects, usually good music. Visually, it looks good. Choreography is fine. I think that if you like watch some of these, some of them are kind of silly, but especially in John Wick 4, my god, there's a lot of stuff in this film that's like just I'm rolling my eyes because it's just like this doesn't have any depth to it for one, and then he is pretty much a superhuman more than before, there's a level of suspension of disbelief that we're supposed to have with most films like this. And yeah, for the first one, I believed it for the most part. Okay, sure. But maybe on a rewatch, I'd probably maybe think different now I'm watching this. He falls out of a building like 3 stories, like more than once, that kind of height, smashes his body on the things that should really bruise him and break some bones, do some damage. He gets ran into by cars quite a few times that for him, he just shakes off and continues walking, as to where other people, it like takes them out of the game entirely. He gets shot at a bunch as well. Like he gets shot a bunch, but guess what? Pretty much no damage at all to him because his suit is all bulletproof. And if his head could get hit, well, he can do a little coat cover, and then that totally blocks him from bullets. And that just looks so ridiculous the more you go into this. And it's like, oh, this is okay. I guess that's how they do that, but it's not interesting. And when he gets slammed into all these other things that should at least hurt him, even the bullets, like even if the bullets don't pierce his skin, I would imagine that like the force still like does something to him so that it's not just simply like pew pew pew. I'm just gonna walk toward you now. Man, it's hard for me to follow this and care because like if he to put it in simpler terms, he seems to have a health bar that's at 100%, and then as he's fighting, it okay maybe it gets lowered to like 30%, but then you jump to another scene and then he's like at 70% again, and it's like well how much time was that, and you all that damage you took and get hit in the face and everything, you're fine, okay. And especially in the beginning of this film, there's a really, really long fighting sequence that happens. And even if you could believe that he can take all these hits or all these things, whatever, I think at some point he'd be a little fatigued to be able to not fight anymore. Like people run out of steam at some point, and it's just like he goes and goes and goes and goes and goes and goes, and then he ends up fighting somebody who's on equal par to him in skill, whom isn't all super damaged and super tired from everything, and should be able to kind of trounce Wick at this point after all that he's gone through so far. And it just I don't know. John Wick can like one shot people in the head and they're dead. People can never hit him in the head, and these are also supposed to be like really skilled guys. I assumed that it wasn't just John Wick is the best of the best. He's one of the best. And there's a lot of people that are in this field that are pretty good. If they're not on his level, they're just right below him, barely. And so a couple of them attacking him would be like, holy shit, you're fucked. There's guys that come in with armor plates and helmets and everything, and he still just kills them all easily. And it's just like, I don't know. This just doesn't seem very good. The story is so thin. It's like, oh, there's this continental thing, there's this round table, there's like these elder dude in the fort in the desert that you kill and it doesn't matter, and like just not, all these things happened, and it's just like whatever, dude. I don't know. This doesn't amount to much. Like at the end of 4 movies, not much has really happened in this story. They also make dogs impervious to being killed now, or they make it where it's just like a meta thing. So in the first film, they killed the dog, and it's like, holy fuck, you killed a dog? No way. I don't remember if there was a dog death in the second film. There is one dog death in the third film, but the other dogs that are there with Halle Berry and him for fighting, like they all get to like one shot attack people, and it's implied that they kill the people they attack. Like even especially in this film too, like they go, attack, and the dog, attacks their neck or attacks their leg, attacks their crotch, whatever attack. As soon as the dog gets them, it's implied that when they move on to the next person, oh, the dog has taken them out. They're pretty much dead or super injured or they can't do anything. Are you kidding me? Like, okay, I'm not saying that this can't happen, but the amount of times it happens is kind of like, bro, the dog's gonna leap at some people and they're gonna fling them across, fight back in some way. It's not gonna be as simple as they have now taken them out of the fight. Because they even show in this one a few times, this dog gets smacked against a car by this big dude. He is able to launch this dog onto a car, and so it's like, oh shit, that dog's fucked. Nope, the dog just rolls back up on his feet, totally fine. Totally fine. It would be at least limping. It would be stumbling, something. It'd be like, it wouldn't be just, totally hunky dory. But, we're supposed to have this. I don't know, this meta thing with the dogs. And it's funny too because it's like there's so many people getting killed throughout the film, but then it's like, no, if you touch a dog, then it's the end of the world. Which I understand the loyalty. I love dogs too, man. But when you're watching a movie and suspension of disbelief again, it's just it feels like they're going to the audience. Don't worry, the dog has an immortal shield on it, so it's going to be just fine. And that's annoying when watching it. I want somebody to tell me what they know about John Wick based on the 4 films. Because after 4 movies, there should be a lot that you should be able to gather from it. But I don't think you'll have much of a character profile by the end. I don't know. It just very unsatisfying, I guess, for me. I mean, for a lot of people, it satisfies the action movie stuff. It's like, oh, fuck yeah, it's all action packed and awesome, cool. Man, for me, it just I'm just watching it going, wow, I wish that the action that I'm watching that is cool had substance behind what is happening or why this is happening, motivation, anything. 'Cause it's just like, oh well, he's just trying to not die, I guess, which you can sort of have. It's a thin thread for entertainment to watch. It's just I feel like if I was online and I was just watching like scenes of character fight scenes, just fight scenes alone without take out all the other stuff and it's just the fight scenes. That would be boring as fuck. Like when I was a kid, I would fast forward to watch the Jedi fight in Attack of the Clones, and I'd like in 300 I'd skip to all the fight scenes when I was like younger. But like as an adult, I like seeing the character stuff as well as this stuff because that the character stuff helps enforce a lot of these scenes. And this, I just don't see that. It's just like really surface level, not that great. I do plan on rewatching all 4 of these films at some point, and maybe like watching them back to back to back to back. Maybe there'll be some type of thread that I just didn't notice in between watching these films as I did. Like maybe there's something there that I didn't discover that could help me like this stuff more. But as of right now, I think this is like schlock shit that people just gobble up. It's cool if you liked it. It's cool. But I just think it's shit. So I don't know. That's all for this one. Have a good day.